Change your mind, let us know.
That's what Nate's gonna do, the same thing.
I'll talk about that in my slideshow too.
Are you ready? Okay, at 6:30, we're gonna go ahead and call the city council, city manager work session meeting to order. Just as a reminder, I would like, if you have your phones with you, please set them to silent. Okay, no calls during this, please. Also, Lily, can you translate the following, please? If there's anyone in the audience that needs Spanish translation, please indicate so with the raise of a hand. We will ask that you all gather together so Lily is able to provide Spanish translation during this part of the meeting and the regular session for this topic.
Si hay alguien del público que necesita traducción en español, por favor, indícalo levantando la mano. Le permitamos que se juntan todos para que yo, Lili, puedo traducir en español durante esta parte de la junta y la junta regular sobre este tema. ¿Hay alguien que necesita traducción?
Looks like we're good. All right, Mr. City Manager.
Yes, so I'm going to ask Mr. Spencer to give you an overview of where we are, and then we can go from there.
Yeah, thanks. Tonight, the council is holding an open house to look at some potential revisions to our nuisance code to address unlicensed food vendors in town. And this is not a issue that's limited just to Hermiston. This is actually a regional issue. In Tri-Cities, I have some things that pop up here. They've had issues with unlicensed vendors. All these images are from the Tri-City Herald, selling unlicensed, uninspected food from areas that were not necessarily approved for food vending. And it's even gone so far as SELA has even enacted ordinances already that allow for immediate shutdown of unlicensed food vendors. Locally, we have had quite a few concerns raised at the city level. Some of our local licensed vendors have come to city council meetings specifically asking for assistance with the unlicensed vendors who have not been always following the rules. We've had complaints submitted specifically to code enforcement, and there's been quite an active discussion on social media about the pros and cons of unlicensed food vending. Being aware of the concerns around this, we have really been working hard to raise public awareness and work with the vendors. We did last summer a bilingual social media campaign that encourages not only the use of our licensed vendors, but telling people where they are. All of our mobile vending guidelines are distributed bilingually. We have English and Spanish. We have an online map that shows which vendors, whenever you're looking in the map in the city, you can see which vendors have been approved by the city. We have visited all of the unlicensed vendors with code enforcement, county health, and bilingual police staff to request compliance and failing that, to issue warnings. And we have also worked with landowners to request trespass authority because in some cases where these vendors were set up last summer, the property owners were not even aware. And so they did give the city property or trespass authority. What are we looking at tonight and interested in public feedback on? This is a new ordinance that would be added to our nuisance code. And what does it do? Well, there's no change to the existing food truck regulations or our permitting process. The fees aren't changing, hours of operation aren't changing, site requirements aren't changing. What it does do is add unlicensed vending to the city nuisance code and then strengthens our ability to gain enforcement around licensing so that everybody on site must be able to have and display their food handler's certificate from the Oregon Health Authority, must have their permit from Umatilla County Health, or in some cases, Oregon Department of Agriculture, depending on the type of food being sold, must have their Hermiston business license as well as the Hermiston mobile vending license. Additionally, we do want to have the written permission of the landowner to be on site. And then all of these requirements are things that you already have to meet in order to have a city mobile vending license. So really failure to have any of the above listed items is de facto evidence of noncompliance because we won't issue our mobile vending license until all of those bullet points are already in place. Some of the additional things that we've added in, being able to hold property owners liable for violations, allowing the unlicensed vending on the property. We've maintained the existing exemptions that are in our code, basically the same things that are exempt from needing a business license or existing mobile vending license, things like Girl Scout cookies. If you're selling prepackaged food, that is perfectly legal. It's only when you start preparing your food in the field that you have to address that. And then a city business license is still needed when someone is vending something such as flowers, sunglasses, those sort of things that we see set up in parking lots. Those are not food items. They don't fall under the unlicensed vending requirements, but they do still always require a city business license. And vending from a public right of way, whether that be a street or a sidewalk, remains prohibited under this code. And 9408, all vending from sidewalks and streets is prohibited. That's really all we have as far as a summary of what's coming down. Like I said, this is not a change to our mobile vending licensing, but it is adding unregulated and unlicensed vending to the nuisance code. And be happy to answer any questions from the council. And then tonight is an open house to take additional concerns from the public.
Council. Go ahead.
Question on that, selling from street corners, is that already part of the ordinance in our city?
Correct.
Okay.
9408 it is prohibited and someone can be warned or cited for doing that now.
Council Brown.
Thank you for the presentation, Mr. Spencer. I understand what's being proposed. What I would like to know is, walk me through what this would look like. I understand each mobile vendor is a case-by-case basis,
Mhm.
but if we're going through, let's just say like a flow chart of discipline or consequences, I think we've discussed in council meetings about educating others before enforcement. But in the case that it gets to that level, how does this look like?
Typically, what we would do is if a complaint comes in on an unlicensed vending location, it would be visited first by code enforcement, typically with a bilingual accompaniment. And at that point, we would say that the city has a certain set of rules that you need to comply with. Please move forward and, we'll let you know, go get your permits, and then we'll be back. Failing to get that, then a written warning is issued. We have a code enforcement compliance letter that goes out that can be bilingual as well. And then if they're still out of compliance, then we do move into citation. If there is an immediate threat to public health. You know, if you can spot something that is clearly out of compliance and dangerous, enforcement always has the option in this code to immediately shut down.
Okay, continue.
Thank you for the response. From what I understand, I think it's just very common sense is there's usually rules because something has happened. There's usually laws in place because to protect people or because some things are happening. Is it safe to say that there's been, I guess, unsafe things that have been happening in terms of, and thus we have to have a ordinance for some enforcement on this?
We do know from the incidents we had last summer that none of the unlicensed vendors had any county health certificates or inspections.
Thank you.
Counselor Meyer?
So citation is last, right?
And it's always at the discretion of the enforcement in the field, but that is exactly. With the way our nuisance abatement procedures are written, it is warning, then written warning, then citation.
Counselor Jerome?
What would be the citation?
Rich, I believe that's a Class C? Oh, Class A. Yes.
And I'm sorry, what is the Class A citation?
So so under our code, we have the violations A through D, A being the highest of those. And so this would be classified as the most serious of our violations, with the fine being, there's a presumptive fine, which was
440.
440.
Thank you.
Got all that others. Any others? Okay, hey, wait, go ahead, Roberts.
Thank you. I just all of a sudden popped in my head. I was thinking about worst case scenarios. And so we play this out and the vendor says, I'm not gonna comply. And the city says, all right, we're shutting you down. What does that process look like as far as, okay, we are shutting you down. How does that unfold?
You might have to help me with that. Be closing them down on the spot.
Yeah.
Oh, it's on, sorry. Typically it would be closure immediately on site. At that point, I'm not sure exactly how we go as far as moving the vendor out the property or out of the area. So I'd have to look into that for you.
Okay.
Counselor Hayward?
Question on the business owner being fined, if it happens, how does that look and what kind of class is that?
It would be the same. It would be the same Class A fine.
And if they chose to not do behavior and just keep doing, what would happen to them?
I believe at that point, it would move into contempt, would it not?
Under the code, every day can be a violation. So the attention could be cited every day that they continue to have the violation on the property. And that's pretty much where we would be for enforcement.
Thank you.
Any others? Okay, I have a couple. So looking at this, when when something like this were to occur, they are engaging in this activity. And we speak, you know, one of our representatives speaks to them about that. Would they not be required to stop doing what they're doing at that point in time? Or would that just be, don't do this anymore, but we're not going to pay any attention to it for the rest of the night?
Typically, yes, we would typically go with the, you need to stop this. This is your warning. But generally, it would go for the rest of the night.
Okay. And so the same deal with the property owner would, you know, if they're doing this on a let's just say, you know, this building is a business and when they're operating over here and we've told them that they have to stop, does that include the officer following up with, or the representative following up with the property owner to find out whether or not that they're authorized?
Typically, yes, we would, if they were unable to provide that documentation that they are authorized to be there, the officers in the field would then enter the building and say, you know, who, have you authorized this?
Okay,
And if they haven't, or if they have, but they knowingly are authorizing an unlicensed vendor, then that could be a citation right there.
any other questions, comments from the council for it? Okay,
Yeah, so just if someone were to get to the last step, which is a citation, what would it impede them to doing it the right way if they wanted to go and do it?
It would not. Our goal is always to get someone into compliance with the city code as quickly as possible. And so we don't do like a background check or something and say, oh, well, you've got 3 sites here. We're not going to cite you. As long as you have the required information, the health department, the property owner, you know, the approved site plan, the city business license, you will get your license if there are any available.
All right. Thank you.
any other council comments or questions? Council Brown?
For clarification, Mayor, you're taking comments, council comments right now?
Yeah.
Okay, then I do have a comment.
Okay.
Just, I guess my opinion about this whole situation, and we've had discussions already about this in our last council meeting. And since then, I've talked to the city manager about what the city has done, and I feel very comfortable in the fact that the city is trying to educate rather than enforce. But there comes a time when ultimately, if vendors are uncooperative or they're trying to skirt the rules, that there are going to be consequences, and nobody at the end of the day is above the law. And if there is attempts to not get into compliance, to just avoid altogether any city attempts to try to get them into compliance, then I mean there are consequences for not following rules and regulations meant to keep people safe. So I am very happy with how the city has approached trying to educate, trying to give chances to these vendors. But ultimately, if they're not going to fall under compliance or follow the rules that are needed to operate within the city of Hermiston, then, well, there are consequences.
All right, this time I'll open it up to the audience. Just keep in mind that anyone wishing to bring anything, just remember that we're going to go with the 5-minute rule on this. And please state your name and residence and direct your comments to me. So, anyone wishing to speak, please step up, step forward.
Hi there. Sorry for my appearance. I was last minute to get here. I just want to
Is
say
the
my
mic
name's
on?
Jim Rue. Pardon me?
Is your mic on?
Is that better?
Yep, perfect, thank you.
My name's Jim Rue. I'm a local business owner and semi-developer, and we have a project here right behind City Hall there between 4th, Tamarack and 3rd Street, which we intend to dedicate to a food truck park, which will give a vehicle for this problem to extinguish itself, in my opinion. So as long as they have a place where all of the inspections, or a good majority of them, can take place over there, it'll be in a secured facility. I just wanted to bring that out and let know that that is coming up here shortly. And I know the city's been behind that, having something large enough to accommodate everybody, and we hope to provide that.
Okay.
That's it.
Thank you. Other comments?
My name's David Welker. My residence is Hermiston County. My question is, with this enforcement, will there be more permitting? Because right now, the limit of permits that you hold doesn't suffice for what we have in the community.
We can always, you know, part of the deal, is it okay if I answer this, or would, Mr. Smith, would you rather answer this?
Whatever you want.
I'll let you.
So this doesn't directly tie to allowing more licenses, but I think what the mayor was about to say is, you know, with enough feedback to the council, they would consider expanding those allowed licenses.
Because I'm representing Wandering Bean LLC. And with that, I'm $30,000 invested into a coffee trailer. I am another $1,000 invested into permitting. But yet we call the city and cannot acquire a permit for the city of Hermiston. So that makes it pretty tough. We're trying to do it the right way. And we were not going to do it the wrong way, but there has to be a path. There has to be common ground here.
To my knowledge, we haven't had to the council a request to add additional permits at this point in time. So, you know, that is something that we can be more than happy to do if the need exists.
Absolutely.
So
Appreciate it.
appreciate it.
My name's Krista Van Veen. I'm a Hermiston resident. And I second what that gentleman just said about the number of permits. I've heard this a number of times from different people that the number is so limited. I'm a little bit not surprised that people are finding that process a little bit limiting. My comment is just really quickly about, let's see, I don't know what you call it, code 92.45, the exemption. I noticed that in the third line down, it says, and operated for no more than 3 consecutive days, but there is no clarification, 3 consecutive days over the lifetime of the child, 3 consecutive days in a year, in a month. What if it's 3 days and then there's a day where they don't do it and then 3 more days? So just a comment that I think there should be some clarification there. That's it. Thank you.
Okay. Others? Please, we want discussion here.
Hi, my name is Rocio Hansen, and well, I want to tell you about my story of being a business owner of a truck, a food truck. I started my business in July 2024, and it was a challenge for me to follow all the rules. It was new for me. So I got my business license, my health license. I got the I was able to cook everything on my food truck. I got also my food handler's license, my EIN number, my Umatilla business license, and insurance. And I want to do everything as the law. So my business idea was only to attend events and fairs, but unfortunately it didn't work out. The good events fees are high, the restrictions are how they determine how can we be a vendor. It was super hard for me. For example, I applied for landing days. They said first come, first serve. I applied in February last year, and on May 29, they returned the money. I didn't know why, because I applied, I put a mark in my calendar, so I will be first in line. I didn't know why. So I thought about selling on weekends, afternoons, in a parking lot. I had everything, like all the license and permits, so I was thinking it wouldn't be any problem with the law. And I talked to the Sherwin-Williams manager. He let me be there for those few hours. It was only 4 hours on Friday, 6 hours on Saturday. And 2 weeks after, I received the visit of a worker of the Hermiston Code Enforcement. And the next day, I contact Heather from Planning Department, and she explained me that license type 2 is the yearly one. It was not available. Those are $700. License type 1 is for 30 days, $200. And but I need the property owner and the mobile food vendor will need to sign the consent to use agreement in the presence of a notary. So that was hard for me because the owner of that place, I just contact the manager. They are renting the place. So I was like, oh, that is not helping me. So I decided to stop doing it. I didn't want to do anything against the rules. In January this year, on the 22nd, Nomi from Health Department called me to talk about my expired license. I didn't have money to renew it, and it was no point to renew it. She said if I didn't pay for it, I will have to pay a $100 fee a month. So she put me out of business. Now I put my food trailer on sale because there's no point. I don't know how to do business. And my question here is, if there is no license available in places where to work, why they give us health licenses to work, charge us $480, and I couldn't find places where to work. As a citizen, I would like that this would be first to tell us if there are places available, then we can start all the process and spend all the money, because I have a lot of money parked there in my house. My idea was to do that to support my kids to go to college, so not even the money that I have set aside, I have it available. So I will prefer that if you want to start doing this, first tell us if there is place available. If not, sell something else or do some other kind of business. That will be my opinion. Thank you so much.
I do believe that if you were to call them and ask if there were licenses available, they would tell you.
I didn't know that that was the process. So when I start searching what will be the process for a food vendor, for a truck, I follow all these rules. You need this permit, then this one, and then I start following all the steps. So when I was ready with all the paperwork, and it take a lot of time and money and effort, and at the end, when I tried to do it differently, it was no place to do it. That's why I think that will be something to will fix or eliminate this frustration. Thank you.
Thank you. Others? Here we go.
I'll try to get it right.
Say, thank you.
Okay, my name is Yesenia Rangel. I live at 1655 Southwest River Hill Drive in Hermiston. So I have attended these meetings on this topic. This is my third meeting, and I'm very excited to see all these businesses work so hard and try to do everything the right way. And obviously, from what I can see and from what I hear, these unapproved pop-up or vendors are catching on to, the consequences. So they're moving outskirts at probably unapproved time areas. So my question is Umatilla County cooperating with your agenda on these consequences? Because I mean, like the people before me have said, everybody pays a lot of money, and that is tax money. And we work hard for that money to try to make things right. So just my question is, if law enforcement agencies are working together to try to help us.
In short, no. We have no authority outside the city. And so, if Umatilla County chooses to do that, that's going to have to be brought to Umatilla County Board of Commissioners, and they would have to do that process as well. And I definitely sympathize with and empathize with those involved, because, I agree. Entrepreneurship, I can't believe I got that word out, is, it's what the American dream is. It's, owning your own business, doing what, your thing, and making money from it. And that's what we want for anybody to be able to do. However, the process, we want a process to make sure that everybody's safe, that, that we're not allowing something that is not, have some sort of checks and balances to it, to put our citizenry in danger. Because, you know, if we fail to protect in, you know, something that we could, that comes back on us. And so this process here is what we're trying to accomplish. We're trying to make it so that, you know, the people can operate in this fashion, you know, and the fact that we need to, it sounds like we need to up the number of licenses. That's, like I said, I don't doubt there's a single person on here, on the dais here today that isn't, that would not approve of adding more licenses and having the ability. I know the fact that we've got another food pod coming in under private operations, that's great, you know. First I've heard of it, but I think it's great. So, but yeah, you're absolutely right. You know, the outskirts of the city, being where people move to just because, you know, they figure out how to game the system for all intents and purposes. And, you know, much as I, you know, don't want to tell them don't do that, I can't. None of us can. So,
Thank
but
you.
we do appreciate it, and I would strongly recommend that you contact Dan Doran, John Schaefer, Cindy Timmons on the Board of Commissioners, and let them know exactly what you think.
I will. Can I add one more thing?
Absolutely.
So I think with everybody that makes the time and effort to be here physically and take the time out of their day, I think we can agree that we're all trying to be a community, a positive community. With food, we all eat. You know, we're not trying to sell name brand Gucci or, you know, off brands or anything illegal. I feel like we're just trying to be a positive community. Thank you.
Thank you. And with that, we are at 7 o'clock, which is time for our regular council session. So I'm going to call the Hermiston City Manager Work Session to a close, and we'll adjourn for 5 minutes and restart the City Council session. Yeah. I tried to be subtle.
How'd that go?
I'm not very good at it. I think there are plenty of people that will, yeah.
Just watch some of the
Yes,
YouTube.
I have the subtlety of a chief, I'm told. All right. So, we are going to call the regular meeting of the Hermiston City Council to order. Like with a declaration of a quorum, we have, Ms. Linton is not currently with us, but may join us later.
Correct.
Please rise for and join me in the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
Hello.
One nation,
Hello.
indivisible, and justice for all.
I'm on Zoom
Counselor Linton is
trying to.
Councilor Litton is on board. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Just so you know, Ms. Linton, when we call for roll, I will call you at the end to double check.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, first off, we just finished with our city council work session regarding the mobile food truck ordinance discussion. I would like to thank everybody that participated in that. That was a good discussion. We got a lot of good information out of it. And I think we got some ideas on where to go with it forward. And we'll be talking about it here in a little bit. Mr. Smith, do we have any changes to the agenda?
no changes.
Okay, so this is the first opportunity for citizen input into non-agenda items. So anything that is not currently on our agenda. If you'd like to bring anything before the council and you are asked to do the following, limit your comments to not more than 5 minutes, state your name and place of residence, that's address. Direct your comments to the chair. Anybody wishing to do so. Welcome back.
Welcome to you too. My name is Krista Van Veen. I live at 764 West Alder Avenue here in Hermiston. And I'm speaking tonight as a small business owner. I own a bookkeeping company called The Good Ledger LLC. And recently I work from home and I tried to find other people who also have small businesses. I find my best clients are women business owners. And I thought, who are the people that I want to work with or that I want to meet, to network with? And I couldn't find anything. So what do? You create the solution, right? So I just wanted to let the city council know and our community that I started the Women Business Owners of Umatilla County as a collaborative networking group, but also really focusing on that collaborative part for women business owners. I have the flyer for our next meeting. We had our first meeting in February or earlier in February, had great turnout, a lot of enthusiasm. And so our next one is Tuesday, March 17th at the Next Chapter Bookstore at 6:30. And I'm really hoping for very good things, including maybe some mentorship cohorts, maybe a bit of an incubator kind of a style, but I just wanted to let City Council know what we're doing. And then I brought a flyer, maybe we could put it in the record.
If
you
you
very
wouldn't mind giving
much.
it to Lily, that would be fantastic.
Thank you.
Sounds like a well-needed opportunity. Thank you, ma'am. Any others? Seeing none. Moving along to the consent agenda items. We have consent agenda items A through J. Are there any council questions regarding consent agenda items A through J? Ms. Linton? Okay.
No.
All right. Any public comment on consent agenda items A through J? All right. Any council comments? Seeing none. Does council wish to remove any items from A through J? Seeing none, can I get a motion to approve consent agenda items A through J?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Been moved by Councilor Hayward, second by Councilor Meyer. Roll call.
Yes.
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 Counselor Linton?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously. No items removed. Moving on. Ordinances and resolutions. Ordinance 2380, regulating unlicensed food vendors. Seems like we just talked about this. City Attorney Tubby will now read the ordinance by title only. Mr. Tubby.
Ordinance number 2380, an ordinance amending chapter 92 of the Hermiston Municipal Code relating to nuisance by adding the nuisance of unlawful food vending. Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Smith.
So as you mentioned, we've talked about that this a lot already, so we'd be open to any questions or comments from a staff standpoint.
Council questions. Council Meyer.
Okay, so how would we go about adding more licenses? Would it be like on when someone would come to us?
Well, what I would suggest is maybe tonight in your council comments section, that somebody make a motion that we consider that. And if we have a majority of the folks up there say yes, then we'll bring back an item for your consideration.
Thank you.
I think Shan's just asked about half of our questions right there and there.
Sorry.
Got first. Okay, any other questions? Okay, any public comment regarding 2380?
Patrick Hunt, 615 West Highland. My question is, 2 or 3 of the big pop-up tents was at 11th Street for a long time. And my intuition told me to just go there and sit and watch what was going on. So I just kind of just sit there, didn't say anything to anybody. I watched Umatilla Health Department come up to these guys and check, and they showed them some papers, and you could tell she was upset with them. It's not the right papers. That's my biggest thing. When we were talking earlier, if you smack these guys on the hand 1 or 2 times, probably need to get police officers involved then, because they're kind of bullying their way through the system, or they think they are, which in turn is dangerous for our citizens and community, because some of the things I seen there wasn't so clean. But you know, I didn't get a chance to speak earlier, but I was gonna tell you guys this. I've seen that twice now. A little vendor on the side, Umatilla Health Department sitting there with them and with these guys. So I spoke with them on this, and we didn't get along with the conversation, because they basically told me, do it on my time, go find out who it is and then report it back to them, because they don't have the man hours to constantly go out here and try to catch these guys. And that's just my biggest question, pretty much what Roy had earlier. I want to give people opportunities to get educated, but at the same time, are they going to try to take advantage of us for our niceness? I mean, is there going to be 2 or 3 citations and they straighten up? Because I can say personally that I've turned 20 legal vendors down because we didn't have space in the food pod, and they say we didn't have space as far as the permits. So I know you have a lot of food trucks here, and I do know back in 2012, I hope I'm not speaking out of term here, but 2012, we had a problem, even the newspaper had it, where all these trucks were everywhere, no permits. Right then, I come in with Southern Twain Barbecue, met council and the mayor and everyone, and we started getting this thing together. So good job to you guys, because it could have really got out of hand right now if someone's not watching this. Because anyone can just sneak up for a couple hours and then, do their thing and gone. That's not bringing money into our community, and that's the part I don't like, because these guys are running off paying somebody else to do this or sending their money somewhere else when they should be sharing it right here in the community. That's what the whole food business is about, community. So that's just the question I want answered at the end of this, so I can tell people when they come and ask me, what's the regulations, who do I need to get up with? And I usually send them back to Mr. Spencer, but I just want it clear so we can do our part out there too, because we can tell these vendors, and maybe they'll kind of get scared and say, oh, if I don't follow the rules like you guys, I'm gonna get in trouble. Maybe we can kind of help you guys a little bit on the back end of the burner there to try to get this thing under control. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That was the whole idea behind this process, was to provide our city with the ability to put a handle on the unlicensed, the unregulated, so that, in those events like you mentioned, where you've got people that are quite following the rules and as it relates to the health part of things, so that we give them the teeth that they need, as opposed to, driving by and glaring harshly. So,
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
may I? And also just, just as all of our law enforcement efforts, we can't be everywhere all the time. So we're going to do our best, and we will make efforts to be available and be out working in those off hours. We've also been building a relationship with the health department to go in conjunction with them so that we can kind of hit a number of things all at once. And they can do the targeted things like that. They just can't always be working like our staff. So we hope we can catch more, and the more people see of where they're at and what they're doing and letting us know, that helps us be able to go and work on that.
okay. Any other public comment? Seeing none. Council comments. Council Brown.
I think in terms of this ordinance, I've said everything I've wanted to say about the ordinance, but in terms of the conversations that it began to spark about the addition of more licenses, that has been brought up to the council in the past. I know that I brought that up before in the past, but if I remember right, the process was when I brought that issue up is that there needed to be a demand. We can't just open up more licenses without there being a demand. So I'm really happy to hear that there are more people that are coming forward to mention that. And especially of Patrick's testimony as well, that there's been plenty of people that have asked that wanted to be part of the food pod. And I think that's a great thing. So I think the next time, at least maybe knowing council rules, maybe I'd have a motion, a second from a fellow councilor. I've heard plenty of times from the community that there is a need for more mobile food vendors in this area.
Okay. Councilor Hayward.
I think it's a great thing that we're doing. I think it would help probably our police officers and stuff. Maybe with my Hermiston putting a thing in it for them to report, because then the community can be reporting, helping the police officers, helping even food vendor trucks can be able reporting that right there on that app and get that information to the right people that need it.
Any other council comments? Councilor Roberts?
I think it's important to remember that mainly this is because of those pop-up food vendors. The people coming here and wanting to open up, they're wanting to be reputable, and that's exactly what we want. And so it's the ones that aren't wanting to do it correctly that we're looking to deal with. And so, like the mayor said, this gives us teeth. But I would encourage the public to call when you see it, because as the city manager said, our police officers can't be everywhere. They don't always have that in their sight when other calls for service are coming in. And so if you report it, it puts it on their radar to make it a priority to go check those things out. And it gives them a record that they can start tracking times and when and where these places are opening up. So we do need the public's help to enforce this as well. So.
Okay. Make sure everybody else. Any other council comments? Councilor Brown.
I just honestly wanted to caution the counselor on that comment in particular, just because if we're not sure that any pop-up or any food vendor might have a license or not, just because we might assume that they might not have a license unless we're absolutely 100% sure that you've asked and you presented. I don't want us to get in a situation where we're starting to receive calls about mobile food vendors when maybe they in fact haven't broken any laws. And so, I think that is the hard part, is knowing if someone is actually licensed or not. And so I don't think we should assume if they're licensed or not. That's the hard part, is knowing if they do have their licenses.
Hold on. Mr. Smith, is there a possibility of, maybe it's, in a variation on this is that we create a visible, that must be displayed at all times, tag or something that can be displayed.
That's actually in the code now. You are required to have your city license displayed in a window of your truck. And then to Councilor Barone's comment, that is why we created the user map for all of the licensed areas, including the food pod, which doesn't require a license because it's on city property, but it's still included on the map, and you can bring it up and there's a little fork emblem for each place, so that if you go, well, I'm driving down this road and, oh, I don't see a fork, they are de facto not licensed.
Okay. Councilor Roberts. Got it. Okay. All right. Okay, can I get a motion to adopt ordinance number 2380 in a
So
single?
moved.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilor Linton.
Second. He got the second.
Second by Councilor
Oh.
Kelso. Wow, I'm just so used to saying Hayward with everything. Roll call.
Yes.
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 Councilor Linton.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously. Done deal. All right, resolution 2408, Evelyn Avenue Sewer Replacement Contract Award. Mr.
Yeah, Mr. Morgan, please.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, this evening we're asking you to award a contract for the Evelyn Avenue sewer line replacement. This is a project that's been on the city's capital improvement plan since the very first CIP back in 2017. This is the third phase of a sewer main capacity expansion project, ultimately for accommodating increased sewer flows coming down from the vicinity of the East Northern Trade and Event Center and the South Hermiston Industrial Park. Total contract price from the low bidder is $308,000 from Bolin Construction. There was 7 bids received, and we recommend award the project.
Okay. Council questions? Councilor McCarthy.
In the past, when it comes time for bids, we usually have a level of contractor estimate. Was that not included for any particular reason on this item?
Only because the engineer did not get me their bid tab before I had to put the staff report in, but I do know that the engineer's estimate, I think, was 370, so it was right in that range.
Okay, thank you.
Any other council questions? Public comment? Seeing none, council comments? Seeing none, can I get a motion to adopt resolution 2408?
Motion adopt.
Second.
Been motioned by Councilor Hayward, second by Councilor McCarthy. Roll call.
Yes.
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 Councilor Linton.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously. Resolution 2409, a resolution to adopt fiscal year 2025-26 supplemental budget. Mr. Smith.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, what's before you tonight is a supplemental budget totaling a little over 785,000. And essentially all of these items were things we did not anticipate in the 12 to 18 months prior to this when we were planning this budget. The adjustments are in the general fund is approximately 255,000, in the TRT fund about 16,000, utility fund about 160,000, the reserve fund, which is about 241,000, and the building inspection fund of about 132,000. Each of those have some different items that have come up. And then each fund also has their own resources that are covering the additional budget needed. And I would be happy to answer any questions related to that.
Council questions? Seeing none, public comment? Seeing none, council comments. Councilor McCarthy.
Just, I know when it comes to budget changes and supplemental budgets, I know oftentimes that there's question of whether or not there have been a fee increase or things like that. So I just want to thank staff for including how the revenues and offsets were covered in this. You made it exceptionally clear. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. Any other council comments? Seeing none, can I get a motion to adopt Resolution 2409 and lay upon the record?
So moved.
Motion. Second.
Second.
Been motioned by Councilor McCarthy, seconded by Councilor Hayward. Sorry, Ms. Linton, he got you first. Roll call.
Yes.
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 Ms. Linton?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously. Moving on. Resolution 2410, authorizing an interfund loan from the Utilities Fund to the Reserve Park Fund, authorizing repayment. Mr. Smith.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, the parks mower that we've been currently using was purchased in 2016, and it has, we've nursed it probably past the real end of its life. We've been spending quite a bit of money keeping it running. And so we have found a mower that we can purchase under the state of Oregon contract. And we explored the option of getting private lease funds to pay for it, and that we recognized that we could do an interfund loan from our utility fund where we save money in anticipation of future projects, that we could do that at a cheaper interest rate and still pay the utility fund back at the rate we would be getting interest on our investments. And so the interest rate that would have been on a lease purchase would have been 6.49. We can do the interfund loan at 4%, which is what our current rate from the LGIP from the state of Oregon. And so what we are proposing to do that interfund loan, we did this last about 10, 12 years ago. To put the latest, or at that point it was the latest, I think it's the green slide at the pool, where we borrowed money from the other funds to purchase that and paid it back over time. So this is what we're asking the council to authorize, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Council questions? Council Roberts.
I had a little sticker shock when I saw this, and so I assume that this is probably a high-grade industrial mower. Am I correct? This isn't just a Cub Cadet from Home Depot.
Well, no, the Cub Cadet wouldn't last us much time, but let me give you just a little bit of an idea of what we're talking about. So the cutting width is 16 feet,
Okay.
where typically you're, a lot of mowers you'll see are about 5 feet. And that will help us mow 20 acres in an hour. It'll also allow us to reduce just equipment wear and tear and everything, because we can do that. It's also particularly good at turf, so the large park areas, soccer fields, those kind of things it will be very good for. And we also had some conversations with the school district, who has now 2 of these mowers that they utilize, and they're very happy with how they've been functioning and their durability. So and there are local places to get them repaired and so forth. So we're pretty excited about that. And so no, it's not the Cub Cadet from Home Depot.
Okay. Do have one
Council
follow-up,
McCarthy.
so.
What's that?
At some point, I have one more, but go
Oh,
ahead.
go ahead. No, go ahead with your second question.
My second one was more budgetary. Do we not have a reserve fund or a contingency fund that we can just pay for it straight out, rather than, because I see that there's.
Not at this level.
Okay.
This is a very expensive piece of equipment. And frankly, if it were in the utility fund, we probably would be able to do it that way. The parks, because it's in the general fund, we typically don't have that much those levels of funds available.
Okay, thank you.
Councilor McCarthy.
I'm just curious, you mentioned the cutting width on this machine. What were we running at before?
60 or the same? Oh, we had it. We're replacing a similar.
Any other council questions? Councilor, no, down here. No, Councilor Hayward.
And this is for a brand new one, not a used one.
Correct.
Okay, just double checking.
Brandon's really tired of using the scissors on the,
You got to keep him busy somehow.
he had Band-Aids all over him the last Parks and Rec.
Public comment. Nobody? Okay. Council comments. Seeing none. Can I get a motion to adopt Resolution 2410 and lay upon the record?
Motion
moved.
adopt.
Been moved by
Second.
Councilor Duran and second by Councilor McCarthy. Roll call.
Yes.
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 Councilor Linton.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously. Potential renaming of East Airport Road. Mr. Smith.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, in 2022, the city, we accepted jurisdiction over East Airport Road, and that was after the improvements were made to widen the initial stretch and do some repaving. And this is, again, the road that goes directly in front of Eastern Oregon Trade and Event Center, where the driveway comes off of. There are two roads in the city's UGB that each have the name airport in them. There's Airport Road that we're talking about, and then there's Airport Way, which actually gives you access to the airport. Airport Road doesn't provide any access to the
Okay.
airport.
Okay, thank you.
And
Ms. Linton, your mic is on.
Sorry.
And that, having two roads with that name causes some problems. And we did have a request, or we did have a discussion about this a number of years ago. And the county commissioners, because they were actually, it was their road, so they chose not to address the concerns that were brought forward. But this was a discussion of the airport board at their last meeting. And I understand there was a large stack of packages that had been misdelivered to the airport. Then somebody has to go and get them to the right address, or find the company and get them back. So, and that happens on the other direction as well. The EOTech often gets packages delivered different, to the wrong place. So, what we're requesting is to start the process that's outlined in the ORS 227.120 to rename a street. At this point, we do not have a recommendation. That would be part of the discussion and process. If the council chose to move forward, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Questions? Councilor Meyer.
Are there any businesses, or how many businesses are on that road?
I think one business has an address off of that road.
Head Start.
And
Because
EOTech.
normally
The one on the
businesses,
corner, Colt Machinery, I think is the name.
normally the businesses that don't enjoy that.
Correct.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Councilor Hayward.
While you guys are looking at that, can you guys look at where it goes onto 395? It sharps curves right there, and I can see a potential safety risk where somebody's not paying attention and go right into that business. Maybe some lighting or something right there. You should go.
Okay, we can talk about that. We're talking about the roads right now, the name
Yeah,
right now.
I mean, we are exploring some potential lighting. We're not gonna relocate that road right now.
Well, I'm not
I
saying
mean,
reloading.
yeah.
Relocating.
Any other council questions? Okay, public comment. Anybody from the public want to talk about this? Okay, council comments. Counselor Roberts.
Yeah, just briefly. I was actually at that airport board meeting when this came up, and I don't remember the number, but I was shocked at the number of packages that are getting misdelivered in both directions. It is quite frequent. And my understanding is uh, back when it was initially talked about renaming the road, when it was under the county, there were some residents up there that were kind of vocal in opposition, and many of those residents aren't there anymore. So it's going to be interesting to see who comes from the public or living up there to weigh in, but I think this is a stellar idea to investigate and determine if we need to make a change, because there are issues with it, so.
Expensive issues.
Counselor Kelso.
I was also at that meeting, and I think, to me, it's false advertising to have an airport road that doesn't go to the airport. And if I was not from around here, I would turn on Airport Road expecting to get to the airport and be sorely disappointed. And other than that, we're missing a marketing opportunity in advertising the premier event center in Eastern Oregon, in my opinion. In EOTech, we could have a road that reflects the greatness of that location, and we don't. We have Airport Road that doesn't go to the airport. So I'm all in favor of this. I think it's a great idea, and I'd love to move forward.
Counselor Barone.
I think the counselor has a fantastic idea because I also had that idea. No, I'm just kidding. But I do think it's a great marketing opportunity. In my hometown, we were the Weezer Wolverines, and so near the high school we would have a road called Wolverine Way, and it was really cool. Even the street sign was red instead of the typical green. But I think this could be something really cool. We can name it something either after the city, or, I mean, we already have a Hermiston Avenue, but something different, something that would reflect a little bit more of the character of the place.
Any others? Any other council comments? Okay, my turn. I'm against it. I have been since the beginning. My biggest concern is, the cost involved for the people involved. A simple sign being put up that says no airport access would be easily, is a lot cheaper to us as a city, because now anything involved with it has an airport road access or has an airport road address there's going to be a cost involved to all the folks that are on that road to change their address, whether you have to change their deeds on the properties, everything I believe as it relates to that. Anything that has airport road listed in it is going to have to be changed. And that's a cost that's going to be passed on to the people involved. Unless we're going to volunteer to assist with that, which I don't see us doing. And I mean, I agree that it's a great marketing opportunity. And I agree that, it is difficult, but at the same time, it's an inconvenience as opposed to a necessity, in my opinion. So I have to get my 2 cents. I had the opportunity to get my 2 cents worth in. I'm going to get at least 3. Any other council comments? Counselor Roberts.
I respect that position. I remember, and I think many of us probably do, back in the day when we had rural routes, and I grew up on Route 2 in Hermiston, and the county came in and they said, we're gonna give everybody an address, and everybody in the county had to redo their address. And at the moment, I think people thought the world was going to fall down, and then it didn't. And the cost, as I remember, it wasn't really, for me, it was probably a few address labels or something like that. But, or for my parents, I guess. So I don't see this as being a huge burden on the public, in particular. But again, that's just my opinion. So.
Okay. Down on the far end. Yes, sir. Nope, you're first.
So my question is, uh, like you mentioned, to change the address on like the deed of a house or a business, what is the cost of that?
No idea.
Okay.
Councilor Kelso.
Yeah, thanks. I also see the mayor's position, but I would argue that it's not going to get any less expensive to change the name than it is to do it today. And at some point, when growth happens in that direction, it'll make even less sense than it currently does to change the name. And I think rip the Band-Aid off now and get it over with is my opinion on that matter. So I respect your position, but I disagree. Thank you.
Okay. Councilor Hayward.
Yeah, I agree with Kelso and Josh on this. With the age of technology, I think it would be a lot easier changing addresses and stuff on titles and everything, since that we live in this age of technology. Would be a lot easier to change it now than later, because if mail's already getting misdelivered, we need to fix that, because somebody's going to miss a bill or something that's going to the wrong place. And we add more houses, it's going to get more chaotic. I'm for this.
Okay. Any other council comments? All right, so can I get a motion to direct the city engineer to review street names within 6 miles of the city and determine if it is in the public interest to consider renaming this road?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilor McCarthy, seconded by Councilor Hayward. Roll call.
Yes.
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 Councilor Litton?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously. January 2026 monthly financial report. Mr. Smith.
Mr. Palacios, please.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and councilors. I'm presenting tonight for you the January 2026 monthly financial reports. We are 7 months through the current fiscal year, or 58% of our current budget. Property taxes in the Hermiston Urban Renewal Agency are at 100% plus, and this is because we budget our property taxes at the same level as the prior year, because we don't know what that assessed value is going to land at. North Hermiston Urban Renewal Area has the right-of-way appraisals are complete, and we're still anticipating bids this spring. So steady she goes in the Urban Renewal Agency. General Fund, again, we are 7 months through this current portion of the fiscal year. Monthly revenues are ended over projection by about $2.4 million. This is due to the timing of the receipt of property taxes through the end of January, which are 100%, 99.99% of budgeted. So we're right on track, and it compares to prior years. Monthly expenses were over projection by $664,000. This is again due to that one-time transfer of building funds to the newly established building inspection fund. I am pleased to report that we did have 4 departments in the prior months that were over budget due to seasonal activities. Parks and Rec and the pool, I believe, were the other one, but those have dropped off. City Council and non-departmental are over due to annual LLC membership, and then the transfer in the non-departmental department, I guess, to the building inspection fund. The Public Safety Center is slightly over budget due to single-time purchases for the public operations building redesign, some furniture and some computers that the chief is purchasing. EOTech revenues reflect partial reimbursement from the campground project, and those are in design and going out for bid this spring. The utility street funds, street fund is about $26,000 below projected revenue, and again, this is due to that annual turnover of federal gas tax revenues that just come in. They should be coming in this month if they haven't come in already. HES fund expenditures were approximately $253,000 over projections. This is due to timing of quarterly transfers to the reserve fund and then the ongoing capital projects that have been budgeted. Regional Water Fund $83,000 under projections for revenues, and that is because we had one of the regional customers had some unanticipated maintenance, so we do expect that to start ticking up in the spring. And then again, same thing as in the HAS funds, $172,000 in the regional water fund over projections again due to those transfers for future projects, and then some ongoing maintenance. Oops. I'm getting too excited. With that, I will turn it over to Mr. Morgan.
We could have just skipped past these. Let's see, capital projects. I am extremely excited about the first bullet point because I believe we're probably going to be advertising the Aaron Harper realignment here in the next couple of weeks, and we'll actually be opening bids and hopefully be into construction probably end of May, June timeframe. So I said it was coming in 2026, and here we are. So plan your route to Home Depot accordingly this summer. So. North First Place, that project again, we continue to work with the railroad on right-of-way acquisition. Regional water system backup generators, we'll probably be bringing you a contract award here in the next couple of meetings because we have those out to bid currently for the actual generators. The Orchard Avenue water line replacement, again, probably be bringing you a contract award here in the next few meetings. That project should hit the street here soon. The Well 6 coronation structure, that's also just hit the street, so we'll be bringing that contract to your award here in a couple weeks. The Northwest 2nd and Dogwood LID project is currently out to bid, so that'll be coming to you for a contract award here in a few weeks as well. So that's most of the ones up there that you should be seeing here. Probably 4 or 5 projects here in the next month or so. So get ready. There'll be lots of construction happening this summer. The Southeast 10th Street Bridge project design continues. Again, you'll remember that one is going to be out of commission over the course of the winter because we have to do that project when there's no water in the canal. The East Evelyn Gravity Sewer Line, you just awarded that contract this evening, so I'm sure work will begin here in about a month or two. And then the Aquifer Storage and Recovery Project, contractors working their way through starting up a lot of the equipment here in the next couple weeks, and we anticipate beginning to pour water down the hole in about the next month or so. Well, number 4, controls project. Again, I mentioned before that project had been delayed. Lift station number 5 has also been delayed. Lift number 7, that one is in design, so we'll probably be bringing that for award probably sometime in May. Got all that? There's a lot of projects.
So we are working on the bids, are working to put out to bid Sherman Park construction. And the Public Safety Center, we're still shooting for March or early April for an opening. Right now, we're targeting a walkthrough with the council at our second meeting in March. Hopefully, we stay on schedule for that, but that's where we're targeting. Any questions?
Council questions? Seeing none. Public comment? Seeing none. Council comments? Seeing none. Can I get a motion to accept the January 26, 2026 monthly financial report?
So moved.
Second.
So moved.
She's gonna wait time.
There's too much of a delay. It's like a good.
Counselor Hayward on the motion, Counselor McCarthy on the second. Roll call.
No, it was
The other
flip.
way
Other way around. I'm sorry, the other way around.
Yes.
Roll call.
Yes.
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 Ms. Linton.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously. Got through all that. Committee reports. Do we have any committee reports?
Yes.
Counselor Duran.
So this is a report on the Parks and Rec Committee. Let me get to the notes.
Is this the one where He showed up with band-aids and stuff.
Yeah, bandages on his hands from
Okay.
clipping the grass.
Okay, let's check.
Well, we met last week, last Thursday. My notes are coming up. I'm sorry, I don't know what happened here. But you want me to keep it brief? And City Manager Smith and Director Arts met with the senior board. They looked at the agreement. They're going to meet again this week. And then the information will be brought to City Council for us to be able to look at what they, the final plan that they came up with. City crew was working on landscaping the safety center, and streets and parks worked together to pour concrete on sections and to mow the curbs. Parks also is working on all the plaques that need to be moved, reset, from the older building. So as you can see, this was such a collaborative effort of the programs coming to work together to make sure that the safety center is, the progress is happening there. And the other things that we discussed was that City Manager Smith and Director Arts also toured the pools at the Pasco facilities. They learned about the bubble in Pasco and some of the costs associated with that to enclose the pool. So they discussed the high-level factors related to putting a bubble over the current pool and what would that look like. And we saw a bunch of pictures, and that was nice for us to be able to see. They also shared information about the swim lesson registrations and the success that they had with the in-person registration, how they were able to connect with a lot of the families that have participated in the signups. And City Manager Smith included the numbers in the weekly memo, so for us to be able to see. And they proposed a new splash pass fees. They're going away with the family pass because families, of course, include also extended families and sometimes that are outside of the household. So the pass now that will be brought to the city council for an approval would be $85 for one pass. For 2 to 3 would be $65 per pass, and discounts for passes will be purchased together. And the fit passes are also available and can be combined for $30. And the Bell Park will have a new bridge, and the high school metal shop students are working on it. And they had a proposed of what the bridge would look like, but the students themselves thought that it was pretty basic. So they came up with another concept that looks more like a honeycomb kind of a bridge. And then in the middle, you will see where it says the city of Hermiston. It'll have that logo there. And so it was pretty neat that the students are working on this, and it's a nice way to also showcase their work. So good job for coming up with that idea. And so some upcoming events, the Daddy-Daughter Dance is scheduled for March 21st. The Hermiston Spring Market, March 28th. Arbor Day Tree Giveaway. We really want to push this because last year they ended up with a lot of trees. So it's scheduled for April 4th. And the swim lesson registration will take place on March 14th. Also, something new that they're working on is the adult egg hunt that will be scheduled. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Never mind.
No, they're not.
More to come. Anyway, that was my report. And Mr. Kelso can talk about the Hispanic Advisory Committee.
Well, I'm more interested in talking about the adult egg hunt.
No, you're not.
Fist fight that was gonna break out.
This is not the hunt you were looking.
Okay.
It's fine. It's just a teaser and more information's coming soon.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Can't wait to see that. Paul. I would like to give a report though on the Hispanic Advisory Committee meeting.
Would you please?
Yes, we had a meeting of the Hispanic Advisory Committee on February 17th. Our first speaker was Dave Gracia with the Hermiston Cultural Awareness Coalition, and he discussed a little bit about their history. They've been in town for 26 years. They're comprised of citizens and interested people who are interested in cultural awareness, obviously. And on the 19th of January, they held their MLK event, and it was at the community center and was a great success. He estimated they had about 150 people show up, and it was a good several hours for a good group. And so that was exciting to hear about. We had a presentation by Brenda Flores of the Oregon Rural Action Group, and she talked about Advocacy Day, which was on February 12th, and 6 people from Umatilla County went to Salem to lobby for immigration reform with our legislators. So that was interesting to hear. We had a presentation finally from Good Shepherd about Heart Health Month, of which February is American Heart Health Month, and they reminded me that I should actually exercise once in a while. If I want to live very long. Apparently cardiovascular disease is the largest killer of Americans. So yes, go get your heart checked out and exercise occasionally. I'm talking to myself here mostly. All right, thank you.
I get enough exercise jumping to conclusions, so.
Boo.
Yeah, I know. Others? Any other committee reports? Seeing none. Mayor's report. I really don't have anything. Sorry to say, today I was really happy to see what we did with all the community involvement with the discussion earlier on the food truck enforcement or the unlicensed vendor enforcement. And so that is exciting that we're finally getting some help, be able to provide our folks with the type of help that they need. And also like to congratulate our committee appointments for Mr. Wolverton and Mr. Gutierrez on the Budget Committee and Hispanic Advisory Committee, respectively. Aside from that, it's your turn.
Well, I just want to let everyone know, I haven't had a chance to go see it yet, but I'm hoping to this weekend that there'll be some additional performances of Grease at Hermiston High School on the 27th at 7 o'clock, as well as the 28th at 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. Get there early. It should be a high demand show. I also wanted to take a moment because I wasn't sure if anybody else remembered, but we talked about potentially directing staff to revisit the food licensing limitations that we currently have. Personally, I find it weird that we have a limit on the number of licenses. I think the limitations should be more in place of where, when, and what kind of businesses can exist, location-based kind of things. I know we've visited that in the past, but we don't have limits on other businesses that exist. We don't have limits on numbers of restaurants that exist. So I think there's some considerations that need to be made, but I would like to direct staff to prepare something.
So you're making a motion to,
Well, I don't
or
know
you're
if it's
asking
appropriate
to have that put on the,
Is the motion appropriate in this? So yes, I would like to move that we direct staff to revisit the number of licenses that we have in place.
Second.
been motioned by Counselor McCarthy and second by Counselor Roberts that we increase or look at to increase the number of licenses available to our food truck vendors. Council questions, comments? We'll let you do both this time.
Comment.
Comment.
Well, I did go to see Grease, as did several of the other panels.
So we're on the motion.
Oh, I'm sorry.
On the motion. We have a motion on the floor.
Okay.
Any questions or comments on the motion?
Nope.
I have a comment. I will have a question as well.
You do or do not?
Hello? I do have a question. I would like to know, is it okay to go ahead and speak now?
Yes, ma'am. It's your turn.
Okay. All right, thank you. I would like to know how many license do we want to add?
I mean,
That's my
we can bring back a recommendation and then you can adjust it as.
That was
you
my intention,
see.
this was recommendation.
So, yeah, the motion was to bring us something. And then we can make adjustments from there. Is that accept, is that?
Okay, then we will,
Okay,
vote on it, on how many after we get the recommendation?
yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any other council comments or questions? Public comment. Anybody in the public want to comment on that? Okay. Can I get roll call?
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Ms. Linton?
Yes.
Okay, motion passes unanimously. Mr. Smith, it looks like you have some work ahead of you.
Yes.
Or like, actually, probably Mr. Morgan, huh?
Probably Mr. Spencer.
Oh, Mr. Spencer, got it. All right, anything else you want to add there, Mr.?
That was all I have.
Okay, council reports. Councilor Hayward.
I love my city coming up in May 16th. It's supposed to be a pretty good job. I challenged all the council, city managers, and mayor to be out there thanking all the citizens that are volunteering to clean up the community. I've heard a good report that it looks like they're going to start cleaning some graffiti up to help some people out and everything. There's quite a bit that's being planned. I just figure I at least put it on everybody's calendar. May 16th is I Love My City.
Okay. Councilor Roberts.
So first off, I did go see Greece and they did a really good job. And so.
Second that.
And then I also had the opportunity to attend the Pilot Rock City Council meeting. And
Forgot that.
I just got to say, it's always good to go to those and see that people are dealing with some of the same stuff that we do. It doesn't matter your size. If you're Portland Metro, if you're Hermiston, Pendleton, or if you're a smaller town like Pilot Rock, they were talking a lot about public safety and the challenges of their police department that they're facing in staffing. And they got a citizen complaint that they had to deal with. So yeah, we deal with the same stuff. It doesn't matter. So.
Forgot to mention that. I was there too. It was interesting. Other council comments? Councilor Kelso.
I was at the opening show of Grease as well, and thought they did a fantastic job. And it was a packed house. There was no empty seats, so it was a great experience. I encourage everybody to go.
Councilor Meyer.
It was really nice to see the local talent. And we did have a lot. They did a great job. And ours too was packed on the second night.
Okay. Others? Ms. Linton, you have any council report?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Youth Advisor. Gabriel, what do you got for us?
I just, I haven't gone to see Greece. No spoilers, please. But
It is the word.
Yeah.
but I heard from multiple people that it's fantastic. This is the first time in a while that they've sold out multiple times. Not even just one night, the opening night. It's almost every time. And I just want to appreciate everyone who supports what they're doing, as well as everyone who is involved with it, whether it be production management or just an actor, background, anything.
Any others? Anything else? Nope. Okay. The city manager.
Just a few items. I'm happy to say that
I didn't
Mr.
steal them
McCarthy
all?
didn't steal them all. Did you see Grease? I did twice.
Yes.
And I'll see it 2 more times. Charter review town hall next week on the 4th at 5:30 here. So if you're interested to hear what's being recommended, please feel free to come, and we'll be it's at 5:30 on the
5:30.
the 4th.
Charter review.
And we'll start, because we didn't want to mix messages, we wanted to have as many people come tonight to the vendor discussion. We'll hit hard the charter review on our social media to try to make sure people are aware of the meeting coming up. So we also have a city chat coming up on March 17th. It's at 10 a.m. And in case, just so you don't get another angry email from someone, we only have 1 counselor signed up. So if you're interested, please come.
What day is it?
March 17th. That's during NLC.
Oh, yeah, I can
So
go.
those who will be there won't be able
Sure
to
went
make it.
green that day.
Then the final, you all received a letter, kind of a proposal, an idea on what to do with the Carnegie Building in your email today. I just wanted to let the council know we'll be bringing a report with all those who've expressed interest, as well as some of the feedback we did with surveys at one of the March meetings. It'll kind of depend on kind of the workload of those 2 meetings, which one we go to, but in one of the March meetings. And that's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
All right. Yes, sir.
I just remembered one more thing real quick. I wanted to potentially discuss, there's a place on 11th Street right next to where I live. I live off of West Joseph, and there's a lot of cars that park on the side of the street, and as a new driver, even experienced drivers have issues seeing down 11th Street, which is a very busy road, especially in morning time because it's right next to the middle schools and there's businesses, and it's one of the ways out of town. So I was wondering if there was a way we could get a sign or something that says no parking, so that, because I've seen multiple accidents happening on that road, and I've almost been in a couple.
Okay. And with that, we are adjourned.
Lord.